Hi guys. I am going to talk about my language goals for the first 3 months of 2024. And they are kind of lofty goals, and I'm not sure if I can manage to do all of them at the same time, but I'm going to talk about what my plan is and why my plans are that way, and we will see what happens. I tried to do this kind of like quarterly check-in a couple years back, and I didn't fully follow through with it, and I hope this year that I can. So I am basically going to be taking on quite a bit, language-wise, depending on how you look at it. I am not one of those polyglot YouTubers who can do like 7 different languages at the same time. But I do have a lot of language goals this year for things that are happening, which is exciting and also terrifying. So I'm going to start off with my main focus, which is going to be Mandarin Chinese, specifically with traditional characters, because that is what I am learning in university. So the textbook that I am using as my main textbook is New Practical Chinese Reader. It's because it's what is required for my course, but I do actually quite like it because each lesson starts out with sometimes 1 to 3 different texts. You can find audio for people reading them out loud whenever you want. Then you've got a word list, and then it goes into grammar and different exercises. I do also have the workbook. I just don't have it here for the video. I really like this textbook. It's not perfect, and it's maybe not what I would choose for myself if I was self-studying, but because I do have a class, it does make it easier. I have a professor that I can ask questions to who is great, and other people who are also very motivated to learn Chinese. So, hopefully, I actually will be going to China to study for a little while in 2024. And so that combined with the class makes this my main focus language for probably the first half of the year, if I'm honest. But right now, we're just talking from January to March. Um, I want to be sitting down and actually studying this 5 times a week. I would have put 7, but I feel like forcing myself to do it every single day is a little bit too much, and I don't want to burn myself out or make myself kind of resentful of the language because I pushed myself too hard. So my goal is kind of 5 times a week. Um, I do live in a part of the world where writing the HSK exam is very available, and I am very proud. I have passed HSK 1 and I did pass HSK 2 in October, which was super cool. So I don't need the HSK levels for anything in my life right now, but it is nice to take them since it is easy, like easy as in terms of like availability. It's not hard for me to write the exam, so I prefer to do it just to kind of get that certification and double check where my language learning um, is at. And so that's kind of my level right now. I'm pretty firmly in between level 2 and level 3. So I am probably writing level 3 maybe prematurely if I try to do it in February. So I might fail, but I do enjoy pushing myself and kind of writing them. So that is my plan. I'm going to try to study 5 times a week. I'm going to make sure I make it to all of my lectures, and I'm going to try to write HSK 3 in quarter 1. And if I fail, I will probably try to write it again in quarter 2, because like spring, summer is when I'm likely going to be in China. And I think having an HSK level determines what category I might be put in for classes when I get to the university there. So having the highest level of HSK I possibly can would be great, if possible. I love Chinese grammar. It is a breath of fresh air coming from Japanese, although I think I've gotten so used to it being really loose that I sometimes end up using it incorrectly, and I tend to make a lot of dumb mistakes. but I do that in Japanese too. So I think it might actually just be how my brain responds to foreign languages. I'm not actually quite sure. Also, like this textbook, it gives you little cultural notes at the end of each lesson. So different places in China that you might not know about. And it has just kind of given me like a list of places I want to visit when I'm there, but I don't think I'll be able to get to all of them since the country is so big. But I'm very, very, very excited with learning Chinese, and it has been a fantastic journey so far. And I plan to continue on with it even when it's not a kind of classroom component thing for my degree. But that's my plan. Chinese is priority number one right now. And I'm hoping that I can make some really good progress in the new year, in the beginning of the semester with this one. Then I'm going to maybe move to not like last in priority, but definitely easiest just because of the situation. And that is that in the new year, I am finally going to pick up Korean. I bought this textbook over a year ago. I've had this sitting on my bookshelf. Sometimes I pull it out and I leave it on my coffee table to bully myself about it, but it has been here. I have been considering learning Korean for a long time, and that is because one of my best friends in the whole world actually lives in Seoul, and I also, just because of learning Chinese and Japanese, it's kind of like Korean being the third language pickup just kind of makes sense. So it's time because I am also going to likely visit Korea before I go on exchange. And I feel very blessed and very excited about that fact, and I'm going to have a fantastic time. But I'm not going to travel without at least getting a pretty good grasp on the language beyond just like, Duolingo lessons. So I know Talk to Me in Korean was mainly an online developed thing for a while, but then they actually made these physical books, and they do like having physical textbooks. I'm not subscribed to the online thing, but if I really enjoy this, I might end up doing both, having the physical option and also subscribing to the online lessons as well. The one thing that I don't have and I'm going to purchase is I'm going to purchase a Hangul workbook. I know because of the way that the Korean writing system was developed that it is quite a bit simpler for native English speakers to understand compared to like Hanzi in Chinese or like hiragana, katakana, and kanji in Japanese. But I still want to learn it properly, and so even just getting myself a little workbook, I know that these guys make one, and that's probably the one I'm going to buy. But if somebody's watching this video who has self-learned Korean and they have one that they really, really like, or like online printables, leave a comment and let me know, because I'm in the market for one in probably the next couple of days here. So this is going to be very basic stuff, and I am kind of in a weird spot because I'm really learning this so that I'm not a horrible person when I visit, and actually can, order my own food and get around and understand how to take the train. I know a lot of that stuff, especially in the bigger cities, can be in English, but I don't want to do it in English. I want to learn the language. I want to be able to maybe go to some lesser known like cultural heritage sites that might not have signs in English, and I want to be able, maybe not to like fully understand, but I would like to be able to read. I want to be somewhat literate. So I am going to try and get through as much of this as I can. I don't know if getting through this whole book in 3 months is realistic. I've kind of set Korean as like a twice a week sit down and do type thing, and then I'll probably add flashcards on top of that. But beyond this, I'm going to basically be learning as much as I can. I'm not really looking at like a topic level or anything like that just yet, because I just want to kind of learn what I can to be respectful and to have the best experience in Korea that I can, and then kind of sit down with myself and go, okay, do I want to then pick this up as like another language that I'm actively writing exams for and trying to get certification of, to like eventually attempt to reach fluency. Being conversational in Korean along with Japanese and Chinese would be a nice thing to have. But I'm not exactly sure. I quite literally know nothing about this language at the time of recording this, beyond what some of my friends have kind of said to me who can speak Korean. So I am starting from absolutely zero here. And then I'm going to kind of go from there. So I'm going to be trying to do this twice a week. I'm going to pick up the writing system, and I'm going to try to feel out how I feel about maybe learning Korean more intensely and over a longer period of time. And last but not least, because it's the one I've been learning the longest, I have Japanese. So I wrote my N3 in July, and I failed. And I did not think that I was going to pass, but I failed it. And the only thing I really felt confident about was reading, which makes sense because for some reason I've had a really hard time picking up straight up textbooks for Japanese, especially grammar textbooks like this one. And whenever I start doing it, I really enjoy it. And then I never want to do it again. So I have been kind of very comfortable in my like conversational-ish bubble in like, reading books and things like that. But I want to keep going, and I want to pass the rest of my N levels, and I want to get my JLPT certification. And that means that I need to kind of kick myself in the butt a little bit. The problem is that I am planning on visiting Japan in 2024. I'm hoping that it works out. But that probably won't be until much later in the year after I've been to China and Korea. So priority-wise, just for like functional use, this one falls behind, but it's also my best language of the three. And so I feel like I still need to be doing this more than Korean because I am much closer to a like conversational, more useful level of Japanese. So in my Hobonichi, when I did my goal setting, I wrote down that I want to be doing Japanese 3 times a week. And I self-study Japanese. I do it all by myself. I usually bug my friends who are native Japanese speakers for questions when I have them. This one is going to be hard. I paid for another year of WaniKani. I love WaniKani. I have gotten a little bit behind on it, but I definitely am still logging in to try and do at least like 50 cards a day type thing. So my goals are to be doing like opening a textbook for Japanese 3 times a week. Doing WaniKani every day, at least a little bit, is not hard. Sometimes I'll do it when I go to university. If I get to the classroom a little bit before lectures start, if I have 15 minutes, I'll open up WaniKani and I'll do my day's worth right there. So that's really not a hard goal. I just need to kind of push myself and remember to do it, which I can do. The textbook is going to be a little bit hard, but I need to improve. And I do have quite a few books on my bookshelf that are just above my reading level in Japanese, and I intentionally bought books that were a little bit too hard for me to try and push myself to learn more. And now would be the time that I need that. And I also want to pick up more like media with Japanese. At one point I had a goal of like consuming Japanese media, whether that was like TV, reading, television shows, entirely in Japanese or with Japanese subtitles, which would help me kind of understand people talking really fast, but not with like English, for 2 hours a week. And when I hit that goal, I felt really confident about it. I'm not gonna go for something like that, but once a week I do want to be consuming Japanese media without an English component or kind of English help, if that makes any sense. I really like this textbook and I would recommend it. I basically have Try N3, and then I have Shinkansen Master Books, and then I do have a set of practice tests that I bought when I was in Japan, and I only used one of them, I believe, for when I was writing it this year, or yeah, in 2023. because I didn't really think I was going to pass, and I was right. So the JLPT runs in July and December. It doesn't run very often, and it's quite hard for me to get to. I'm not sure if I'm going to write it in July. How the next couple months goes really is going to determine if I even sign up for the July JLPT. I might push it and try to pass it in December when I will have a lot more time to focus on this language specifically, because the kind of pressure situationally of Chinese and Korean will like not be on my back so much. But this is a lot on top of everything else in my life. And I am not actually sure if I can stick to it. But the thing is that language learning is a hobby that I really, really enjoy. I'm not torturing myself to do this. I genuinely get enjoyment out of it. And so it's kind of a weird, like, when you start going to the gym mindset of like, I just need to start doing it. I feel better when I do it. I enjoy it. And I kind of need to look at it from that perspective. And once I get to any of these countries and I'm actually have to have conversations with people and they can understand me, it always ends up being worth it. So I'm excited. I'm a little bit scared, but I'm very excited. And I think end of March before April, my plan will be to make another video like this, talking about my goals for like April, May, June, but also going over and rewatching this video myself and then talking about kind of where my goals set me. So I hope that anybody else who's either picking up a language, continuing with a language, doing one for school, anything like that, I hope that maybe this was helpful in some way, or it just helps to know that somebody else is going through what you're going through, or other people who just genuinely really enjoy language learning, to kind of hear other people's plans and what they're thinking for their languages in the new year. But I'm very happy with where I'm at currently, even though it's not as like efficient as it potentially could be. I'm excited to see what I can do and where I can be with these three languages in the next couple months, and I hope that you will follow along with this journey. If you want to, you can subscribe. I do this channel to kind of keep myself accountable, but if you're also a language learner, then you can definitely benefit from it too. So yeah, give this video a like if it was helpful or enjoyable, and I hope you have the best of luck with your own language learning in the new year. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.